Holy water, sacred flame, Bridget, we invoke your name. Bless my hands, my head, my heart. Source of healing, song and art. Holy water, sacred flame, Bridget, we invoke your name. Bless my hands, my head, my heart. Source of healing, song and art. Holy water, sacred flame, Bridget, we invoke your name. Bless my hands, my head, my heart. Source of healing, song and art. Bridget, water, sacred flame, Bridget, we invoke your name. Bless my hands, my head, my heart. Source of healing, song and art.
So let us begin. This is your Women's Sunday Goddess Services for Sunday, February 7th, a new year to forge a new beginning for ourselves. So just start to drop in to that, to your deeper self, and let it just sort of bubble up and share later on if you wish. Today, many people are watching a huge event. We have a few goddess comments on the Super Bowl. So, what is much of the world doing today? That's right, watching the Super Bowl. Football players are called modern-day gladiators, and the similarities are inescapable. The carnival atmosphere, with large crowds eating and drinking and betting, all gathered to watch young men hit, bruise, and beat one another in violent spectacle. Roman citizens cheered and bet on their favorite gladiators in combat, just as modern football fans strongly identify with and bet on their chosen team. Psychologists say the psychological lure of both games for the Romans then and football for Americans now is identical. Incited by the violence on the field, fights often broke out among Roman men in the stands at gladiatorial games, as they do also occasionally at modern American games. Large-scale games create intense bonds among fans, provoking feelings of belonging and validation and a false sense of camaraderie. Individuals feel part of a greater whole. They feel empowered, particularly when their culture does not help them to feel part of a greater whole. Belonging to a particular team can give them a false sense of this. The Romans saw the players as walking dead, whose lives were only as valuable as the entertainment they could provide. Modern players are paid well, yes, but their lives, their bodies, their health are as little valued by Americans as the ancient Romans valued their gladiators. They are there for entertainment only. An injured player is of no further utility, and likewise of no further concern. Children playing football are regularly seriously injured. More children suffer concussions in football than any other sport. Men who have played football since their teens show CTE, chronic traumatic encephalopathy, a progressive degenerative disease characterized by severe depression, loss of memory, early onset dementia, increased drug and alcohol abuse, and suicide. Women and children are harmed by men in Super Bowl related crimes. Football is a violent activity that embodies the dominator model values of competition, fighting, force, aggression, lack of care for the individual, and profiting without concern for human hurt. That's what so many are engaging in today as they watch the Super Bowl. Let women speak the truth about football. Let women lead us all to return to values of wholesome and humane games, games that support life.
So we put that on Facebook this morning or last night, and we want you to know, you, the women gathered here, that this is what we are supporting here. We are women gathering together in spite of patriarchy for the single purpose of holding the ancient through line of woman's values for the good of all humanity, as we always have from ancient times, from thousands of years ago, through more recent times, the Middle Ages, up until now. And here's a picture on the right of our good friend and wonderful teacher, Dr. Marguerite Rigoglioso. And Vajra, if you happen to speak with her, let her know we used her beautiful priestess picture to portray the modern day woman. I'm your facilitator today, along with Mata and Marcia and Sandy, priestesses of the Goddess Temple. And we are very happy to gather with you. Our theme is forging, because Bridget, our goddess for this season, is known for the forge. And you see her anvil in front of you. You see in the picture her hammer, forging, but also protecting, because Bridget is known for her protection of life. And our guest speaker, wise woman Sandy Limina, will be sharing a little more about that, I'm sure, later on. So our theme today is forging and protecting our new beginnings. If you have any tools for purification, please use them now in your space as Marcia and Mata lead us in a purification, reminding us that there is no original sin. There's really nothing to purify except just to let go of the crud of patriarchy. Can you help us do that, Mata and Marcia?
Yes, most certainly. Earth, air, and fire. Connecting with the waters in our bodies, and the waters in the earth, in the skies. And it comes full circle, all the elements connecting together, clearing and cleansing and sanctifying space all around us. I send these wisps of smoke out to every woman here as we hear the beautiful singing bells, singing bowl of Naiad Priestess Marsha Works as she carries on.
We are whole. We are cleansed as we gather today. Just know that as you feel your body, as you feel the air around you, you are already pure, clean, and whole. Your purification is right here, right now. Blessed be.
Martha. What, yes, clang that again. It sounds just like Bridget's anvil. Clang it.
Forging, forging.
There we go. Blessed be.
And your bell woke my cat up. My cat's right
Debbie?
here. Yeah, Debbie. And Debbie's like, you sounded your bell, and Debbie was like, what? Now we have to go back to Mata. Mata, I see a picture behind you that looks very familiar, something I have not seen in many years. Tell us about this picture.
Yeah, so this is a beautiful painting that my dear friend and sister painted and created. Ava, this is her creation, and I appropriated it and said, no, I'm taking it with me. No, it's mine. You can't have it back. And she's all, well, maybe we'll bring it back if you don't ever want it, or if I need it someday. And I said, yes, of course, sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I've carried this with me across the country in my car, keeping it safe. I've even drawn blood on these muscles that are here, sanctifying my journey, coming and going, or going and coming. So, and it's embedded with crystals and money. This is money underneath here in the waters. So it is such a powerful, magical painting that Ava has created.
It was originally a prosperity painting that I did for someone. And I told him I did it for a man, a friend of mine. And I said, when you experience prosperity, you must return this to me so I can give it to the next person. And he did experience massive prosperity. And so I went to his house and I claimed it back. And now you have it. You have it, Mata. That is so great.
I want to be next. I want to be next.
Vajra, we need to bring it to you. Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, I want to be next.
Wait, no. I see in the chat Ashley has called it after Mata, so we got to give it there. Where are you, Ashley? Do you have your
I'm here. I just have it muted because I have my babies here, so I didn't want to.
Right. All right. We're gonna get that as soon as Mata experiences her massive prosperity. Then we're sending it to you, and then you're next, Vajra.
Yes. Might have to produce some more of these in the manner that you did, Ava. I might be that might be next on my project list.
Well, and I did incorporate actual money into it, and also shells, empty shells that I did find on the beach. And I bent down and I collected a few. I asked permission of the shells to come with me. When you ask permission to take something from nature, you really have to listen. It's not just by rote. You have to listen. And there was like one shell that said no. And I was like, oh, okay. And I put her back. So letting our eternal radiance shine forth. And just say to yourself, I am, and your name, daughter of, and your mother's name. Whatever your relationship was with your mother, whether it was wonderful or terrible or a little bit of both, like for so many of us, She did bring you life. She did bring you to this experience. So let us honor her for that. And just say quietly, I am Ava, daughter of Ethel. And honor your mother for what she has given you. And thank you, Charlotte, for that wonderful picture. Sister, your mind is your own. Your thinking is clear. Your thoughts are powerful. How do you hold your mind? Say with us, as the divine intelligence of God. Sister, your body is your own. Your body is beautiful. Your body is divine. How do you hold your body?
No, I don't
As
accept
the
the
sacred body of
Body
God.
of Goddess.
We are women, the
the
carriers of Shakti, the holders of humanity. We remember always to celebrate ourselves.
Blessed be. Well, at least technology is pretty funny. So our intention together once again is to forge new beginnings for ourselves this year and to protect them as they strengthen, because a new beginning is usually somewhat vulnerable in the beginning, as a tender shoot just coming out from the ground can be somewhat vulnerable, and it needs protection by us. Let your deep self bubble up an idea of what new beginning you might like for yourself this year, and also how you might protect it, protect that new beginning for yourself as it is strengthening. And thank you, Patricia Gallet, for sending in this photo. So we ask for Naiad Priestess Mata to please ask permission of the Ahashban ancestresses for permission to carry out this ceremony. And each of you, as Mata is doing that for us here on this land, please do this for yourself with the original peoples of whatever land you may be on.
The Ahashman people, ancestresses of the land that we stand upon, that we sleep upon, that we walk upon, that we live upon. We ask permission to do this sacred holy work today, this very special ceremony. And we feel that this permission is given. Blessed be.
Blessed be. Air, fire, water, and earth, north, south, east, and west, from wherever each woman is, we acknowledge you, your breath in our lungs, your twinkle in our eye, your water in our juicy kiss, your earth in our bones. You are here, you are here, you are here. Hail and welcome.
Guides and guardians of every woman represented here, animal friends, we are so grateful for your help throughout our lives. You are always with us. And because we are here, you are here. And as we talk about new beginnings, we know that you will help us to forge what we want to bring into this new time. Blessed be.
Blessed be.
Maiden Mother Crone, you of the land, of the fire, of the water, of words and inspiration, you who protect the women and their children, who burn on our hearth fires and keep our homes safe. We call you today to be with us in this etheric temple as we honor you and we begin a new year, a new life, a new path as our seeds begin to sprout. Call you from the heart to be with us now. Blessed be.
Blessed be. I thank our priestesses. These are just a few of them. You see from left to right, Amina and Deb and Marcia and Marcia. And there's me in the center, and Connie, who is on this call. Welcome, welcome, Connie, and Andrea and Mata. This is a picture from a few years ago, and I've been looking at some of our old pictures and just realizing what a magnificent space we held for 18 years. The pictures are so glorious. I'll keep posting some of them. I'll keep sharing some of them with you, because it is not to be forgotten what we created there, and allowing the energy of that to help us create something new for the future. Right, Mata? Right, Marcia?
Yes, that is
Right,
so
Ben?
beautiful. Oh,
Yeah.
all right.
And Connie, welcome. We're so glad you're here. Miss you. So we do have on the call, you just heard her invocation to Bridget, special guest, wise woman Sandy Limina, longtime priestess of the Goddess Temple and a facilitator today, as she will be bringing us a message about forging new beginnings and protecting them, a message about Bridget, and a message, a meditation for Bridget. Let us ask, what new beginning might you like to forge for yourself?
This is Laura. My fresh beginning this year is
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. You know, that integration, that wholeness, that like I'm the same person all the time. Don't have to get compartmentalize or cut off any parts and hide any parts of myself for certain people. Yeah. Yeah.
I'd like to share. This is Vajra. I just got a book from Ava that she sent to me and my husband Wolfgang. It's called Breath by James Nestor. So I'm going to learn how to breathe. I've been always bored with the idea of pranayama and breath and you know, and I mean, I breathe very well in terms of being a singer, classical singer, but I don't know how to breathe. I've learned from reading the book so far that breath, I had no idea how important it is. It can kill you or make you healthy. It can put cancer in remission. It can, I mean, everything depends on breath. I've only read a couple, 3 chapters of the book, and it's blowing my mind, Ava. Wolf and I are dealing with health issues. And just as you say, Laura Lee, I'm 70. I'll be 71 in a few weeks. Catch it now, 47, age 47. Catch it now,
right.
Chelsea, all those addictions. Yeah,
That's
good for you.
Yeah.
And I would say, learn how to breathe. Get this book, Breath. It'll blow your mind. I had no idea.
Inspiration, respiration, breathing, and spirituality all have the same root word. Breathing is spirituality in the body. And this is an amazing book. And I have implemented many of his techniques. It's already transforming the way I move through my day. So I'm really glad you're enjoying it, Vajra. I'm really glad you're enjoying it.
Thank you. And, you know, it's a good read. He's a good writer. He gives you history of breath. He goes back into the past. He goes into science. He goes into experiments. He goes into the evolution of the human species. It's really, if you don't even want to learn how to breathe, just a good book to read. So it's just fascinating. Thank you so much, Ava.
I would like for you all with me to consider whatever the new beginning is that you might like to forge for yourself. How might that new beginning need protection? If a new beginning is vulnerable, like a shoot coming up out of the earth that needs protection, it cannot bear a lot of assault because it's very tender until it gets a little bit bigger and a little bit stronger. How might that new beginning that you're interested in need protecting? For myself, I want this year to spend more time writing. How will I protect that new beginning of writing? And one of the ways that I will protect that will be to write first thing in the morning before I do anything else. I will surround that little shoot of a desire to put more of my thoughts in writing. I will protect that by not looking at anything else before I write. I will not look at Facebook. I will not look at my texts. I will not look at my emails. I will protect that space by holding all those things in abeyance with a boundary while I spend an hour or two writing. So each of your new beginnings that you wish to forge needs perhaps, in many cases, a form of protection, a form of boundary to help it grow and get stronger. I ask your deeper self to let it bubble up. How will you protect your new beginning so it can strengthen? So today we are honoring the Celtic Bridget, goddess of the British Isles, venerated for thousands of years by millions of people. And it is said in some ancient texts that she was born with the rising sun, risen to the sky, rays of light radiating from her crown, nourished as a baby on the milk of a sacred cow. And the bards tell us the marvel of Bridget: wherever she walks, flowers and shamrocks spring up in her footsteps. There are so many pronunciations and spellings: Bridget, Bride, Brid, Brig. All comes down to the meaning of exalted one, high one. Brigantia, patron goddess of the Brigantes, they were the ancient people of middle to northern Britain. Doubtless, my studies show that originally she is probably the same goddess as Bridget. When you peel away all of the layers of history, you find out that all these goddesses with different names and different qualities, they all really come down to the one great goddess. The Brigantes were temporarily conquered by the Romans around AD 155, but the Romans couldn't hold it. The people of the British Isles were too powerful, too wily, too strong, too independent, and eventually the Romans gave up and left. Now, we've all know about Boudica, but a lot of us don't know about Cartimandua, sometimes called Cartismandua. She was a Roman British queen of the Brigantes Celts from AD 43 to AD 69. And this is a depiction of what she might have looked like. A lot of people decry her as having betrayed her own people. But if you look deeper into it, you see that this was a great queen who was put in a series of impossible situations. And so we must not be too hard on Cartimandua, this great queen. She's called the Roman British Queen of the Brigantes because she ruled during the Roman occupation. And some say she betrayed her own people, but it's very possible, if you peel away the layers of history, it's very possible that she was simply trying to do the best she could at a very, very difficult time with no good choices. Cartimandua. Bridget is the goddess of poetic arts and crafts, prophecy and divination. And Cartimandua surely would have honored and venerated, as Boudica did, Bridget. Boudica would set loose a hare, and that would determine which way her choices would go in terms of the upcoming battle that she had to face. And Cartimandua undoubtedly did that as well, using living beings' hairs in a kindly way to set them free and use them as divination for a message from the divine as to what to do next. Bridget is also known for ultimate wisdom, healing, certainly protection, domesticated animals. She's known for so much that, once again, as I always say, peeling away the layers, you see that these very, very old goddesses, they all blend into one original great mother, maiden, queen, wise woman. They are all one. Later on, patriarchy chopped all the goddesses up, and some were known for this and some were known for that. But if you go back far enough in history, you see that they all were everything. They all undoubtedly go back to one great mother. And Bridget also includes blacksmithing and the forge. And it's very important for us as goddess women to remember that we must not barbify the goddess. If you go online and you ask for pictures of Bridget or Aphrodite or any goddess, what you will see are images created for the male gaze, highly what I call barbified, big breasts, tiny waists, often blonde, small noses, tiny little chins, of very childlike faces, but with adult female bodies that are impossible. This is not who we are as women. I have deliberately not chosen any of those images because I do not want us to think of those as the images of ourselves as goddess embodied or goddess herself, which is what we are. Goddess is nothing more than us, women, embodied in the world. And we look all different sort of ways. We're young, we're middle-aged, we're old, we're very slender, we're very heavy, we're fleshy, we're round, we're angular, we're blonde, we're ginger, we're brunette, we have different colors eyes. Let's not focus on these barbified images that are meant for the male gaze. Let's choose images that really look like actual women. Forge. Bridget is not some delicate little flower goddess. She's strong, she's powerful. She has a forge and an anvil, and she bangs shit out on her anvil.
That's right.
And I love this image of a real woman in Ireland working on her anvil, working to create something. Look at that. That's what a real woman looks like. That's what Bridget really looks like. She is creating something on her forge. She's unafraid. She's strong. She's determined. She knows what she wants. She's going to hammer it into existence. Cormac's Glossary, which is a text written in the 9th century by Christian monks, said about Bridget that she was the goddess whom poets adored. And the monks in this same glossary also referred to Bridget as woman of wisdom, famed for her protecting care. Now, the Christians, when they came to the British Isles, they could not get rid of the goddess Bridget. So they co-opted her and made her Saint Bridget. And you know what? That's fine, because she was able to reach a whole new group of people in the same way. There was actually a Saint Bridget, and she is honored and venerated. And this is as it should be, an actual woman. From the Middle Ages, St. Bridget has been honored at Kildare in Ireland, and doubtless the location was founded on a pre-Christian sanctuary. Her sacred fire there burns continually, tended by nuns. And there are so many, if you go to Ireland, you will see so many wells named after Bridget. Here's one at Kildare. But there are many all over the British Isles named for the goddess Bridget. And this is her time of year, around February 1st. And what you see on the right, it is a tin, a decorated tin, kind of like an Altoids tin, but it has Bridget's blessing on it. And this is a tin that you are meant to carry around with you in your little knapsack as you travel the country. And it shows Bridget, and it gives a Bridget's blessing. May Bridget bless this house wherein you dwell. Bless every fireside, every wall and door. Bless every heart that beats beneath its roof. Bless every hand that toils to bring it joy. Bless every foot that walks its portals through. And Mater, read that last line for me.
May Bridget bless the house that shelters you.
Let us all say together, may Bridget bless the house that shelters us. Yes.
Me.
Yes, me. So this is also the time of the ancient pre-Christian festival of Imbolc, the season when the ewes come into milk. And that's what Imbolc means. And this is also known as the beginning of spring. February, March, April is spring. The Western calendar thinks of spring as a little bit later, but if you're really paying attention, you see that spring actually initiates in February, March, April, and summer is May, June, July. So this is a time of weather prognostication, similar to America's Groundhog Day. The serpent will come from the hole on the brown day of Bridget, though there should be 3 feet of snow on the flat surface of the ground. Bridget is associated with perpetual sacred flames, which shows you that if you go back far enough, she is also associated with the fire goddesses Vesta and Hestia of the Romans and the Greeks. And once again, this proves that if you peel away the layers of history, all these goddesses are actually one. Bridget, with her sacred perpetual flames, Vesta, with her sacred perpetual flames, Hestia, with her sacred perpetual flames. And the sacred flame at Kildare was said by ancient chroniclers to have been surrounded by a hedge which no man could cross. This is very interesting. Men who attempted to cross the hedge were said to have been cursed to go insane or die or be crippled. This is the protection of the principle of woman. This hedge protected the Bridget's flame from men who would have an incursion upon it. Bridget is important in modern Scottish folk tradition, where she figures as the midwife of the Virgin Mary. Numerous holy wells are dedicated to her all over the British Isles. Her connection with water is very deep. Several rivers in Britain and Ireland are named after her. In the ancient Irish saga texts, Bridget has a son who dies, and in response, she begins the custom of keening, which is very much a part of Irish funereal traditions. Keening. Keening at a wake is done mostly by women, and it is sort of a cross between wailing and crying and singing. And it is this amazing feeling in the room. And the women keen, as you see here in this 19th century pen and ink, women will keen and other things will go on in the room. People will eat and drink and do different things, and the women will keen for everyone. And this is really important when you think about keening, this emotional release of expression, of love and connection to the one who has left the body. Keening is something that is not permitted in our patriarchal culture. When you go to a funeral here in the United States, unless it's an Irish funeral, if you go to like a Protestant funeral, any huge, loud expressions of grief are very much frowned upon. This is a way of shutting our women's voices down. Keening comes straight from the goddess, and we should be permitted and allowed to use our voice at the crossing of a human being leaving the body. When you go to a funeral, think about this. Obviously, do what's appropriate, but also, if you have the opportunity to keen, to wail, if it's authentic for you, perhaps do that and show people what real goddess tradition is. In these same texts, Bridget is credited with inventing a special whistle that people could use to call to one another during the night. If you know anything about ancient peoples, you know that there was something called the second sleep. What that was, it was different in different parts of the world, but people would go to sleep early, somewhat after sundown, but then they would wake up around 1 o'clock in the morning, and they would go and they would do a whole bunch of things. They'd go feed animals, they'd go muck out the barn. Vajra knows what I'm talking about. They would go and they would do many things. They might go visit a neighbor a couple miles away. They'd stay up for a couple of hours, and then they'd go back for their second sleep at about 3 in the morning, and they'd sleep until dawn. So this is a very natural way of living. And we don't have that way of living in our culture. We've lost that. But Bridget is credited with inventing a special whistle that when people were walking around late at night and it was the middle of the night and it was dark and there might just be a little moon or maybe no moon at all, they would use this special whistle that people could call to one another over long distances during the night. Many of us are familiar with Bridget's cross, a small cross woven from rushes. This is made by boys and girls, and the Dalai Lama is very proud of his Bridget's cross. Look how beautifully that one is made. It was presented to him. This is set over doorways to protect the house. I'm thinking now of Meredith Kirby, a longtime member who helped us make Bridget's crosses one year, and that was a very beautiful thing. So, all hail Bridget.
All hail Bridget.
Bridget. This would be.
Our priestesses, Mata and Marcia, have a couple of things they would like to share about Bridget. Take it away, Mata and Marcia.
Marcia, would you like to go ahead?
I sure will. I will be reading from Women's Rights, Women Mysteries by Ruth Barrett.
Yes.
For Bridget. Hear my words. I'm calling from your heart and calling from your mind. I am the spark that kindles the flame and nurtures all in kind. For a jewel of light has been at every root and lies within the soil's clay. And it cradles the babe of our visions and dreams and sends all creation into flight. Take my hand, I'll pull to free your stance. I pull only at first. And when you push to make out a path, the waiting sea pods burst. There's a fountain that flows from deep within the rock and satisfies the thirst in all. And it cools the brow when the hammer falls and soothes a way for the birth. So speak my name, I'll come to any door and come at any hour. And when you raise your voice and your heart, your innocence is power. And the healing of love can sweeten bitter taste and wash the poison from the wound. And it fills every sail to ride upon the sea and guides every vessel homeward bound. Blessed be.
Oh, blessed be. Oh, that was wonderful.
A poem by Orion Foxwood. Candlemas Blessings. Deep in the earth, the mother sleeps and dreams the world alive. Light a candle in her name. Your luck will surely thrive. Midway twixt the cold of winter and the breath of spring, the holy Sabbath Candlemas removes the dark year's sting. The sun of light within her belly stirs the sleeping seed. Come, spring, she rides the eastern wind, as swift as any steed, and casts a spell of maiden song on every living thing. The fire we light at imbog tide becomes the light of spring.
Oh,
That's beautiful.
oh, my goodness. That was so beautiful. Thank you both. Thank you both. We welcome our speaker and longtime member and Melissa Priestess, Sandy Limina, sharing her wisdom on Bridget and on the topic of forging and protecting our new beginnings. Welcome, Sandy.
Thank you. When you talked about Bridget and her longevity from ancient times until the present, she has survived because of people's regard for her and that knowing inside of themselves who she is. And I had a friend that I would do carpool rides with, and she was telling me, she's Catholic, oh, her daughter is going to be confirmed, and she took the name Bridget. I said, oh, well, you know, she's an ancient pagan goddess. She goes, oh, no, it's Saint Bridget. And she's named all over Ireland, and she's the great saint, the patron saint. And I go, okay. And during the time when Catholicism was being erased, the time of Protestantism was rising in Britain, and the monasteries and the abbeys and the convents were being destroyed, the nuns, and this is a story that was told to Kathleen Moranti by the nuns in Kildare, Kathleen of sacred memory, who told her that the nuns kept that flame going and they hid it. They hid it in a cabinet and they took it with them. And supposedly the flame was extinguished and was relit several years ago. And the nuns told her, no, it has never gone out. They have always taken care of it. And when Catholicism then was allowed back in, the nuns at Kildare have kept it going. And people go to Kildare, they light their candles there. And then there are women, and it's women who take a candle and they keep that flame burning at their home for a month. And my friend Bridget Silverbranch, again of sacred memory, Janet Berenstein, was one of those women. She was on the roll, and each woman on the list would take a month and would burn that candle continuously in their home so that it would go with the candle that's burning continuously at Kildare and also in the home of women around the world. So that light spreads. We don't know if people knew about this, but it's a custom, it's a tradition that's been going for eons, and it continues to go in the modern day. But she is truly the goddess of everything. And if you know the ancient traditions of the kings, before they could become king, they had to have permission from the lady of the land. And I see her as that embodiment, original embodiment of the land, the sacred land that we walk on. And she's a metalsmith. She crafts the metal from the earth. She uses the words of inspiration. She's a poetess. She sings. she births. She midwives. I mean, there's nothing she doesn't do. And she's a sun goddess. And that cross that she has, it's the rays of the sun going around and spinning. Her sparks, they go off, is the way I see her. She's, if you need something done, ask Bridget, she will do it. And it's not, as I think of her with other goddesses, for example, Kali just flicks her finger and she's very fiery. So is Bridget. She's very fiery, but she's not with the tongue like Kali. She's just like, okay, fine, and it's done. She's quiet, but she can be very, very fierce when she needs to be. I think she's a wonderful model for us today. The forge, where she forges during the Iron Age, and I visited some of the Iron Age villages in Britain. Went to Cornwall, and there was a Iron Age village, and I could just see Bridget there. You could see the layout of the village. I found the home of where the wise woman probably lived, close to the stream, with the herbs growing around the door. And there was a window so she could see almost the whole village. And I can just see the wise women in the village using Bridget for the women, not only the womanly arts, but caring for the life of the whole community, which I think as women today, that's a good model that we can follow, because we care for our lives and our loved ones at home. I think we've forgotten sometimes to care for ourselves. And Bridget is a good one to model for self-care. So as you're thinking about your new sprouting seeds, your new path that you're making, what provisions are you making with your breath, of course, but what are you making sure of for yourself to take care of yourself? So Bridget did that first, and then she would take care of the community. It's not a sacrifice where I must sacrifice myself. I think that's a Christian overlay, but it's I take care of you, you take care of me, but I take care of me first. That's health and that's self-care. I wanted to ask if anyone has any experience, like maybe Vajra, or if someone has gone to Kildare and lit their candle. I know that you have, Ava. And that's one of my bucket list things I want to do. I'll be 75 in a couple of weeks. And so before I'm 120 and decide to leave, that's one of the things I want to do. Thank you, Vajra.
While we're waiting for someone else to share, I will say that the times that I have been to England, I grew up in lots of different places around the world, and none of them felt like home to me until I went to England as a 13-year-old with my mom. And I did not know who Bridget was. Our family didn't know anything about Goddess. But when I landed and I walked alone through the green hills while my mom was busy doing something with the family, all I could remember thinking was, this is the way land is supposed to look. And I just felt that connection to the land. And so that might be a past life thing, who knows. But when you go there, there is something about the land that is extremely, extremely affecting.
Yeah, I experienced that in Cornwall and also in Glastonbury. And I was so glad to see the picture that Charlotte sent you. Because most people, when they go to Glastonbury, they do the tour, right? But there is Chalice Well.
Mhm.
And Bridget is everything. She is in everything. When you read a poem, when you drink water, when you light a fire in your hearth, and she is the protectress of childbirth and women and their babies. And I think at the time when iron was coming into play and it was being used, she's also a warrior goddess, which I didn't really realize, but considering how fierce she is, the word brigands,
Yeah,
comes from Bridget. That's
sure.
the root. She doesn't need to be fierce. She just is, and things happen around her.
Right.
You will see her the little shrine with the wooden Bridget, and she's just standing there. That's because she's standing in her power, and just that's who she is.
Thank you for sharing that beauty with us, that Bridget beauty. And for those for those women who perhaps don't have any particular Celtic blood in their lineage, Bridget can still, just like all the different aspects of the one great goddess, it doesn't matter what your particular blood lineage is. You might feel more connected to one goddess or another, but all these goddesses belong to all women. It doesn't matter your heritage. These are principles that live, and the one great goddess is celebrated everywhere, all over the globe, and Bridget is yours too.
Closing your eyes, getting comfortable. If you need to lie down or stand or walk or move, whatever works for you. And breathing in the deep breath to your womb, into your yoni, and breathing out. Letting your breath find its own rhythm. Following it in. Following it out. Any discomfort in your body, just notice it and let the breath breathe it out. And breathing and relaxing. Every breath, you are more relaxed. You find yourself walking on an earth path, bare earth. It is day. The sun is shining. It is still cold. The leaves are just budding on the trees. The breeze has a hint of warmth. You might still see patches of snow as you walk. The path is flat. The way is clear in front of you. And as you walk, you see your feet. They could be bare and cold. They could have shoes. Notice the shoes you're wearing, if you're wearing them. And you come to a gentle curve on a gentle hill. The path goes around the bottom of the hill. And as you come around the far side of this gentle hill, you begin to hear something. It sounds like hammering. And you also hear water. Maybe there's a waterfall or a stream. You don't know, you just hear it. And as you continue walking, you see a round thatched house. It blends into the landscape. If you weren't looking, you might miss it. In front of this round house, is a forge, and at the forge is where that noise is coming from. There is a woman hammering something on that forge. She sees you and she stops. You approach her. She reaches out her hands, which are smudged from the soot of the fire in the forge. They're calloused. And she holds your hands and she says, "Daughter, what is it you want? Where are you going on this path?" And then putting both her hands, your hands in her hands, she says, "No, I am with you wherever you go." And when she takes her hands away, in your hands, she has left you a gift to take with you. She tells you, put the gift in your heart. So you have it with you always. And remember, I will help you. Just ask me. And then taking up her hammer and starting to hammer again, she says, "Okay, be off with you now. Go on your path. Enjoy." So you begin to walk back the way you have come, thinking about that gift, holding your heart. And as you walk back, you notice things seem a little brighter. You begin to hear birds in the trees. The breeze is not so cold. And you spy a leaf just beginning to burst out of the bud of the trees. You take a deep breath. And you settle your gift into yourself. And you begin to skip on your path, laughing, maybe twirling and dancing a little, walking your path, coming back to where you are, coming back to the Zoom room, feeling your fingers and your toes, and coming present to the group of women here. And returning now. Returning now.
Blessed be. Oh, we are so grateful to you, Sandy, for that beautiful message.
If anything happened for you during the meditation, this would be the time to share. Meredith? Beautiful.
What's behind me? That is an artwork by Judy Chicago, and that is the Bridget plate from the dinner party, a very famous work that was done collaboratively with many, many women. So it shows her fire.
Many medal experiences with the nuns there at Colbert and the Sacred Flames. And they were even in one of our rituals, we had the candles that we lit. And every candle in my house is always lit with candles from Kildare. Even, you know, candles from the Goddess Temple as well.
Blessed be.
And I give people a lot of times, you know, those little candles from IKEA that we get. I light a whole package of them with a Bridget prayer, and I give them to people and tell them the story. Mm-hmm. And when I put one of my candles out with the candle sniffer, I always say, "Thank you, Bridget, for your light." When I light them, I say, "Thank you, Bridget." When I snuff them, I also.
Yeah, it's interesting that it's the light of knowledge. It's the light of the forge. It's the light of your sacred fire within yourself, and as well as the light of passion. So there's a whole fire there. It's
Illumination.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, Amrita.
For sharing. Thank you, Amrita. Thank you, Meredith. Thank you, everyone, for sharing. And thank you, Sandy, for bringing us that beauty. We have a gift for you. This is a Bridget pin in copper that we will be sending you, Sandy.
Oh, thank you.
A cloak pin. And so you can feel our appreciation.
I have the perfect cloak for it too. Thank you so much.
Let's all just take a moment to feel our appreciation for Sandy and her wisdom and send her a little twinkling love. Thank you, Sandy. Thank you. Thank you.
And thank all of you for the work you do and hanging in there.
We are hanging in there. So she has led us in a brief meditation with Bridget, and we are fully absorbing that. And as we are heading towards our conclusion, O great goddess, wealth and prosperity, riches flow forth from inside me. If you're not a member of the museum and temple, please send us an email. We'll help you become a member. We still need you to support us so that we can rise again in a new place, with a new temple, with a new museum. That is our intention. We ask that Priestess Mata lead us in women's prayers for the world related to forging some kind of new beginning for ourselves as women and having the boundaries to protect that new beginning for women all over the world. What is it that women need, Mata? Feel into that for us all and speak a prayer for us all. Carolyn May says that we have forgotten how to pray for ourselves and how to pray for each other. But this circle has not forgotten that. We make our prayers every time we gather for women of the world, and we do so now.
Sacred Bridget, we, the women of this circle, hold the flame of Bridget in our hearts. I see many women coming, standing around a well, Bridget's well, holding hands, and Sacred Bridget, rise up from the well in a bright light. As more and more women moving in, surrounding, as far as I can see, surrounding this well, a sea of women holding hands. We hear the forge banging, molding us, our dreams, and rising up from every clang of the hammer. Dreams are coming out and moving out and up into the heavens. And they come round and they find each and every one of the owner of that newly created, birthed. We claim this forging that we are, that Bridget has formed from our desires. We claim it. We claim it now.
So be it. We have fulfilled our intentions set at the beginning of this circle. We have welcomed the energy of forging new beginnings and protecting those tender beginnings of ours. Sister, your mind and your body are your own. Your thinking is ever more clear. Your presence ever more powerful. As you go forth from your woman's temple, how do you hold your mind and body?
As
the divine expression
And
of goddess.
We are women, the carriers of Shakti. Let's say it together. The holders of humanity. We go forth celebrating ourselves as the presence of Goddess on earth. Oh, why, we might have a Bridget quiz. Were you paying attention? Were you paying attention, sisters, at the slideshow that Ava so carefully prepared for you? Now, Mata, I'm going to require your help for this. We have 4 questions, and we have 3 Bridget pins. And whoever, these are the similar, each one is different, each one is unique, but these are Bridget cloak pins. And the 3 women who are able to answer the questions, put your answers in the chat. Number 1, where is Bridget's main Irish sanctuary? 3 women who are able to get this first we will mail you your Bridget pin to you. Number 2, what is the name of Bridget's festival? Number 3,
I don't know.
what is the cross of Bridget traditionally made of? And finally, the toughest question, I really zoomed by it in the slideshow just to make sure you were paying attention now. What is the name of the 9th century book written by the monks that spoke of Bridget that we just told you a few minutes ago?
That's the one. I don't know.
All right, sisters, I'm going to give you the answers. And the first 3 women, index of something, says L. Index of something, L. Oh, sorry, that is not going to do.
That's not going to work.
Not going to work. All right. The answers are, where is Bridget's main Irish sanctuary? Kildare. What is the name of Bridget's festival? Imbolc. What is the Bridget's cross traditionally made of? Rushes. And what is the name of the 9th century book written by the monks that spoke of Bridget? Did anybody get it? It was Cormac's Glossary, C-O-R-M-A-C Glossary. Did anybody get it? Oh.
No, I did not. Okay, Cormac's
Glossary.
We were not told there would be a quiz.
Because I'm going to be researching.
All right. We have these 3 beautiful Bridget's pins to mail to you. Mata, I would like for you to go through the chat and figure out who came the closest. Top 3 women. In the event of a tie, the eldest woman gets the gift. And Mata, send me the address of the 3 women who need to get these pins, and we'll carry on. Valedictions. So breathing, sisters, as we come to a graceful conclusion.
That's pretty.
Priestess Sandra, will you please say thank you to she who is everything and everywhere?
Holy One, you have 10,000 names who cannot be named, but who we call today Bridget. Thank you for blessing us with your presence, for your inspiration, for the words, for the fires in our bellies that you have sparked, for blessing us with your protection, and bathing us with your waters of compassion and love and connecting us. We know you're always with us as we go forward on our paths. But for now, we say thank you, thank you, thank you. Blessed be.
Blessed be.
Guides and guardians of every woman here today, Debbie and Teddy who joined us, we have felt so much today. We ask that you remind us of how we can protect ourselves as we birth something new. As we forge our new beginning, you're always with us. Remind us of what we have heard today and how we can apply that. And we ask that Bridget bless each home represented here. And as we leave from this place and from this circle, we say thank you, thank you, thank you. Blessed be.
Blessed be.
Ancestresses, ancient ones who walked the land that we stand upon, we so appreciate you and thank you, thank you, thank you. Blessed be.
Blessed be. air, fire, water, and earth, north, south, east, and west. You are always with us in our bodies, creating the physical world that we enjoy, that we learn from, that we use to communicate with each other, this blessed physical earth of Ma. We say thank you, thank you, thank you. Dissolve any cords that you may have created during this circle. Stand in your own power. You may recreate those cords, reconnect with those with whom you wish. But for now, you are a woman standing straight and tall in your own power, fueled by the passion of Bridget.
May the circle be open but unbroken. May the love of the goddess be ever in your heart. Merry meet and merry part, and merry meet again.
Wish to join us in the social hour and chat to follow. Feel free to depart now if you're not able to stay with us for a few minutes, or get up and get yourself something to drink and return at the conclusion of this beautiful Lisa Thiel song for Bridget. And we'll have our brief social hour online. When you come back with your drink, unmute yourself and turn your video on.
Yeah. Love everyone.
Blessed woman, come to me, woman of the fires and woman of poetry. Blessed woman, come to me, woman of healing, woman of skillful means. Blessed woman of the land, guide my heart and guide my hand. Blessed woman of the streams, guide my soul and guide my dreams. Blessed woman, come to me, woman of the fires, woman of poetry. Blessed woman, come to me, woman of healing, woman of skillful means. Blessed woman of the hills, heal all wounds and heal all ills. Blessed woman of the flame, awaken me to renew again. Blessed woman, come to me, woman of the fires, woman of poetry. Blessed woman, come to me, woman of healing, woman of skillful means. Blessed woman of the land, guide my heart and guide my hand. Blessed woman of the streams, guide my soul and guide my dreams. Blessed woman, come to me, woman of the fires, woman of poetry. Blessed woman, come to me, woman of healing, woman of skillful means. Blessed woman of
Vajra, how is Wolf?
Well, at the moment, he has severe toothache and is
Oh,
feeling
no.
Send him some mojo, everybody. He's in a lot of pain.
All right. You know what? Everybody, let us just all focus. Even if you don't know Wolf, he is the most great goddess man, the most sensitive being, the most pro-woman man of understanding. Let's all gather for just 1 minute and put all of our energy on this truly beautiful soul who has done nothing his entire life except work for the betterment of women, their leadership, their goddess knowing. This is truly an aware man of the deepest, deepest sort. So let us all focus on him through Vajra, focus on Vajra's picture. She's deeply connected to him in every way. And send this loving energy of power. Teeth are related to power. Let us send this loving energy of wholeness and goodness and a blessing to this wonderful man through this wonderful woman. Sending energy for healing, sending energy for wholeness, sending energy for power and goodness, comfort in the body, resolution of anything that needs resolving, clarity, pristine cleanliness, powerful, energized body, healing itself now, now, now. Now, now, now. Say together, women, now, 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 now.
Now.
Thank you.
Blessed be.
Thank you.
Blessed be.
Oh, Sandy, thank you so much for a beautiful message of Bridget and your beautiful meditation. I too got a gift. I'll keep it private just because it seems kind of private, but I did get a gift from the essence of Bridget. So thank you. Now, Mata, did you determine who our 3 winners were of the Bridget Cloak pins?
Yes. It was Erica Hahn, Amrita, and Meredith.
Yay, Erica.
Oh, very good.
Well done, my friend. Thank you.
Erica, okay, I'm going to mark this down and I'm going to mail them tomorrow to you.
Okay.
Althea.
Called Time to Meditate.
Oh, time to meditate.
Yeah.
And they're almost all mandalas.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
Women continued their wonderful, juicy chat in circle, sharing their products, their wisdom, their information, and their support of one another. It was juicy indeed. Thank you, sisters. Stay safe until we meet again. Members will be receiving their Bridget gift in the mail within a few days. A lucite picture holder with picture of Bridget for the month of February, with a silver tea light holder to place in front of it, and a tea light Bridget candle lit by Ava's Bridget candle from Kildare. Each member will now have her own Bridget candle, and each month each member will receive a fresh, new picture of the goddess of the month to place in their lucite holder. To become a member, email your request to ava@museumofwoman.us. Blessed be, sisters. Blessed be.
Bridget, we invoke your name. Bless my hands, my head, my heart. Source of healing, song and art. Holy water, sacred flame. Bridget, we invoke your name. Bless my hands. sun.